Hello and welcome to Hands-On Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at the PS5 DualSense Controller. As you can see, the controller has taken a lot of its design intent from the DualShock 4. Sony have clearly focused on refinement rather than redesign. It's clear that the controller's shape has been refined by smoothing out the harsher edges from the DualShock 4. This has made an overall more ergonomic design, which I think is really exciting. I'm excited to see the addition of a more tactile joystick. That's a particularly interesting new feature which I'm excited about personally. I always found when I was playing for a long period of time with the PS4, I was finding that my thumbs were getting a little bit tired, and I think having a little bit more grip would be a really interesting new feature. Another change is the back buttons. They've ultimately got rid of the gap in between the top and bottom back buttons. Overall, I'm not massively thrilled with this new feature because I think if you're actually going to remove your fingers from the back buttons in gameplay, when you're actually putting them back, the old controllers did have that gap, which meant there was a distinction between the two buttons, which made it a little bit easier to come back to them. I think that might not work out for Sony, but we'll see. An exciting new feature in the DualSense is the Haptic Feedback, which replaces the rumble feature on the DualShock 4. Sony Interactive CEO Jim Ryan has described the DualSense as having a broader range of feedback. Now, one of the main new features that is very, very exciting, particularly for developers, is what Sony is describing as adaptive triggers. The L2, R2 buttons will be adjustable depending on what the developers want them to do. They can ultimately dictate an increase or decrease in resistance. Now, what does that actually mean? What it means ultimately is that they're able to adjust the resistance in the controller as you're playing. So let's use an example. Say you're thrashing around the Greek world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Bows are obviously a massive part of that game. Now, Sony have said that as you pull the bow back, the increase in resistance will allow for a more tactile, more immersive experience. So more tension in the bow, more resistance in the buttons, less tension, less resistance. Ultimately, it will be down to developers to adopt this technology. However, if it works and the developers do adopt it properly, I think they could be onto a particular winner that will set them apart from Xbox. So to summarise, the DualSense ultimately is a very impressive controller. I think Sony focusing on immersion is a particular strength, with the haptic feedback replacing rumble alongside the adaptive triggers, and the overall design changes they've made to the controller, ultimately refining it from the DualShock 4, I think that Sony potentially could be onto a winner here. Alongside the DualSense, obviously we've seen the release of the Unreal Engine 5 footage. That obviously represents a giant leap from the PS4, which I'm particularly excited about. We've also got the announcement of the chassis around the 4th of June, so that will be something that I'll be tuning in for just to see what it's going to look like. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. We could use the support. This has been Tom for Hands-On Tech Reviews. Thanks and see you next time.